welcome to a new episode of Mahoney's Madhouse. I am Father Mahoney, and joining me, as always, is Cyrus Alderwood, and we want to welcome our special guest, Troy Oelke. Welcome to the show, Troy.
Hello. Thanks for having me.
First of all, before we start the show, I want to just big shout out to producer Poe for that kick-ass intro. This is the first time we've used it on the Mahoney Madhouse, so thank you, Mr. Poe, for that awesome intro.
Yeah, I appreciate that. I haven't looked that sexy since I got rid of my OnlyFans page.
And how much you charge for the OnlyFans?
I couldn't get anything. That's why I'm not doing it anymore. $5.99 a month for this piece of ass? You kidding me? No one wanted to pay that?
I literally started an OnlyFans page, and I put all photos of fans.
That's awesome.
Stealing fans and whatever. This was probably 2 years ago, and
that sounds like you, Troy. If you've never seen any Troy's videos, his funny videos, they're epic.
That's hilarious. Yeah, that's
probably
classic
rich,
right there.
but I lost the password, so I don't know.
You got money waiting to PayPal. Can't remember.
Yeah, I could be a millionaire.
Yeah. So how you been, Troy?
Doing pretty good, man. Busy.
Yeah, I know you're getting flooded with interviews, aren't you?
Yeah, that, and then working on just so much stuff at the moment. Wearing a lot of hats.
So we've talked before about your indie career, but for those who are watching that may not know you, how did you get into independent films?
I was The Rock's nude body double in by The Rock I meant actual the formation on no I started my voice work actually on 13 Fanboy was the first one I did official voice work, and I do a lot of featured background acting around here, and I make hundreds and hundreds of goofy comedy and horror skit videos.
Yeah, if you haven't seen them, Cyrus, definitely check out his page. They're hilarious.
Yeah, I started checking some of it out earlier, and as a writer, and I kind of blend horror and comedy too. But as a filmmaker, can you tell us a little bit about your perspective when you make a horror / comedy, like combining those two genres, and just kind of how fun that is?
Well, yeah, for me, I grew up absolutely in love with anything spooky, anything monster movies. I mean, all my favorite cartoons, of course, were Scooby-Doo, anything, anything with ghosts and mysteries and monsters. And I loved all of course, the Universal monsters, the Hardy Boys, Nancy Drew. You had even like, Happy Days and stuff like that had Halloween episodes. So I really especially love those toys, like you had the Weebles. The Weebles wobble, but they don't fall down, and they had like a haunted house, and I always loved that kind of stuff. Well, one of my greatest heroes of all time also happens to be Benny Hill, and the two just kind of married in my head somewhere. And I always loved some of the horror comedies. I mean, I rewatched Saturday the 14th the other day. Ooh, man, that was bad. But there's I think it's ripe for that kind of the silliness because of the scary. Now I like some movies that kind of go back and forth, where the scenes are meant to be a little scary, and then there's some really goofy stuff in there. So
yeah. I did have one question about let's jump a little bit further back in time. I noticed your new film you're doing in black and white, which I think is really cool. Going back into monster films, do you go back as far as like Lon Chaney Jr. when it comes to werewolf movies?
Yeah, I mean, as far as the Universal monster, my favorite always was The Creature from the Black Lagoon. I mean, without question. I loved Frankenstein. Wolfman was okay. I wasn't giant into the Wolfman. I liked the Mummy and stuff, but any of those, I'm a huge fan of The Day the Earth Stood Still. A lot of those classic movies I absolutely love, and there's just a certain feel I think that those movies of those eras had, and I I wanted to return because I love the black and white, and I love the music too. The music it's so different than today's cinematic music. You know, we have really epic blockbuster music, and you can tell it's, you know, orchestra and all that. But back then it just had this kind of a different sound. I think more of a live orchestra sound almost. So that it's, you know, there isn't like one single thing about it. There's just kind of this whole formula where, you know, that I think back then's where it kind of started with that campy, you know, take yourself really seriously in a very kind of a not serious situation where you have, you know, your monster has dryer vents for arms, you know, and whatever trash can for a head with eyes painted on or whatever, you know, for the really bad B movies back then, you know. And I like that. And then, you know, they had all the wacky names, you know, like, you know, Planet Nine, and then you had, you know, Martians and an invasion of the Saucer Men and all these kind of things. And I just love that era. This is just so fun. And I think too, back then there was a lot more wonder, I think, in the films, you know, like we wonder, like today, it's like, I think we're more of a know-it-all in the films, you know.
Yeah, they don't leave much to the imagination.
Yeah, and I mean it rudely. It's just like a lot of the movies we do now are about this super duper scientist guy who knows all the stuff and's figured out the DNA. It's just, you know, and it's like everything about us in this world is how we figured this stuff out. Well, back then it was more like, oh my God, what if, you know, the Saucermen and the Bobs and the Martians, and I just think that's a super fun time. And so that is why I chose to do my first. I have several stories, and that's the reason why I chose to do this one first. And we're gonna do. It's gonna be fun. We're gonna do some unique things with it. Want to try to stay kind of true to some of that 50s stuff, but with some modern stuff. You know, it's gonna be 2050s is what it is. So we have 50s vehicles and 50s gas stations and bars, and you know, we've got all the 50s stuff. It's going to be all 50s, but it's 2050 because after the Third World War, when the internet and the power grid all went down, by the time it came back up, and then the internet came back up, no one cared about it anymore. So it's up at, you know, maybe a quarter of its capacity anyway. So people don't go to social media or anything anymore. There's, you know, maybe some recipes and that kind of thing. It's not very used anymore, but they still have their cell phones just for communication. And, you know, it's kind of a mix of future tech and going back to a simpler time is what happened after that. And so we're kind of back to the 50s. Some of the 50s lingo, you know, take it easy, Mac. You know, we got the, you know, the greasers and sock hop kind of stuff going on. Not to an over extent, but I mean, you know, I mean, just that whole kind of that whole era is back. But what I intend to do is colorize the blood, and I want to colorize the phones too, because they both kind of represent something to do with evil in a way. And then we've got like straight up Harryhausen miniatures. We've got a full soundtrack. We have an original score being made. We're gonna do, you know, all the film grain and all that. We're gonna try to get back to that feel. Including, you know, there'll be some saucers, possibly some footage of Mars. It should be a lot of fun.
Yeah, Troy, I know besides the movie that you just released the Indiegogo for, you also have been promoting a movie called Fur.
Yes.
Can you tell us a little bit about Fur?
Yes. So Fur is, I've been really excited about this one for a long time. This is a Josh Graves film. And if you're familiar with Josh, he did the House That Eats Flesh and Late Checkout and all that. He's a fantastic human being and a great filmmaker. So I've been friends with him for years. I was doing his trailer narrations for even faux movies before he even did them, or he didn't even end up doing it. He was kind of like doing faux trailers probably to get, some ideas going or whatever. But
Yeah.
Always did trailers and voice work for him. And now he's got this amazingly ridiculous movie about an animatronic Christmas bear, I believe it is. That it's an animatronic bear, I know that. And then a meteor comes by, if I'm not mistaken, and he goes on a murder spree, and I'm voicing the bear. So this I've been looking forward to for a long time, and even now, they are fundraising. So they're crushing it. So they, check that out. There's all kinds of cool perks, but this should be a hilarious film. And I haven't even got the script yet, but I've seen the teaser trailer, and the bear is playing the piano and ripping people's heads off. And I am really looking forward to doing this one. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Nice. So without giving away too much, obviously, can you tell us a little bit about Earth versus Werewolves from Mars movie?
Well, basically what you have is the backstory. I'll give you the backstory. So in 1947, as you may or may not have heard, there was a small incident in Roswell, New Mexico. Well, the farmer that found the stuff called the police, and they came out and they called right away the military. And Jesse Marcel, the officer who came out, was also actually involved in some of the nuclear testing afterwards. So he was no average guy. He was definitely a higher up. So as you may or may not know, the entire legend behind that, how he picked up debris. They announced officially up front that it was, in fact, a flying saucer they had captured. And then the next day, they came back and said, no, and made him take a picture in front of a foil weather balloon. And it, for decades and decades, people were angry about this, and how even his family members say, he knew what was what, and he had to go along with it. I mean, he had to say whatever. So they made him look like a jerk. But you can look it up. His family will tell you he brought stuff home, and he tried to drill it. He tried to crumpled it up. It would return back to shape. He tried burning it with a lighter. He tried all kinds of stuff. And so the material he had, and it had hieroglyphs of some sort on it. And the material he had was very weird and interesting, he said. So, of course, the military denies this ever took place, despite what he said. And it turns out perhaps maybe he had a confidant, a fellow soldier, a good friend, whom he gave the one very special thing that he found, that he kept, that he told no one about. But see, what happened was there was no little green men. It was werewolves from Mars. And when they crashed, they were all killed. But there is a piece of alien tech that they left here, or dropped here, and they have just now, unbeknownst to us, we don't know why, but they've just turned on the tracking locator beacon, and now they're coming to get it. And the man who Marcel gave it to handed it down, and they know what's coming someday, and today is that day. So we will be invaded by an army of Martian werewolves who are hell-bent on getting back some of the technology that was accidentally left behind when they had a crash. Well, we've got a couple of kids who see something funny and trying to figure out what's going on. And we've got some people who know what's going on and are trying to warn people to defend the Earth from the Martians, the Martian werewolves.
I love that concept. I love it. It's like two of my favorite things, like monster movies and like alien stuff. And you like throw Roswell right in there. And I like the fact that you're using Jesse Marcel. We're talking about a real life character.
Yes.
And a lot of speculation and conspiracy around that family and everything that happened after Roswell. Have you been to Roswell before?
I have not.
Okay, yeah, me
I
either.
have.
Rob, it's my bucket list, buddy. Did you go to the Little Alien?
Yes, and I went to a diner that they every food was named after something like alien or like space, or it was pretty cool.
Troy, how'd you get the idea to like incorporate Roswell in with the with werewolves?
Well, so I had two ideas that originally started out. The movie was Nazi werewolves from the moon, and it was how Hitler had escaped to the moon and everything. And I liked the incorporation of a little bit of some sort of history that could blend a little bit of reality with some fiction, you know. And we just ran across, I'm working on that one. That one's put aside for now. That's going to be part of a trilogy that I'm working on. But so we have soldiers, werewolf soldiers, Martian soldiers. We're going to find out. Well, we'll find out more in the trilogy. But like, you know, those bad guys will be on the moon. We've got different werewolf soldiers on Mars. And then in the third one, we'll find out how and why. And then we're doing it with the third one. Honestly, I am getting ahead of myself a little bit here, but we have it all planned out. And with the third one, I'm going to do something really unique. So,
just out of curiosity, the way you're describing that a little bit, have you read anything about? I guess this is kind of conspiracy theorist, but Project Horizon?
Don't think so.
Okay, this is about the U.S. Army having a base on the dark side of the moon and actually having military capabilities on the moon. So there's some speculation about that. It's called Project Horizon. If anybody gets bored, want to look it up, but it's kind of fascinating when you're talking about all that and incorporating all that in there. It's wow. I hope some men in black don't come knocking on your door one day. Like,
right.
What are you talking about? Secret of Cheyenne Mountain is we don't talk about Cheyenne Mountain.
And I just love that, you know, like with those older movies like that, the way that, you know, it's like, why would a werewolf be a Martian soldier? Exactly. You know, part of the charm and I think the fun of it. And so I also like the fact that I've got UFO, futuristic, past, monster movie, and alien elements kind of all in one. You know, we're gonna have some fun too. There's gonna be some laughs, some chills, some thrills, and some laughs for sure.
Now, do you have anybody attached to the project yet, or is that something that you're still working with?
I actually do. I have someone really. I couldn't be happier. And I am cleared to say them, but I want to make sure that funding goes through because my funding's starting to pick up steam, which is good. But I honestly, I don't want to use him for advertising. If I wasn't able to get there. So once I reach that point, I'm going to have a huge announcement and someone I'm very, very happy with it has agreed to be on. So looking forward to hitting that. We just started a few days ago and we are at almost $600 right now. So we've got a goal of $2,000.
Yeah, and I was going to comment on that. I think it's very smart to start off with a small goal because it's easier to reach it for your in demand. And you know, once you hit the in demand, you know, the world's your oyster.
Yeah, that's what I read. This is my first time on this. I mean, you know, I wrote the short story and then now I'm directing it. I'm been, you know, getting props ready and trying to get everything in order. And then, I've got some great locations. Once I get everything and everyone's schedule kind of figured out, then I'm going to, put the days there, and then we'll have a lot to do in post with the miniatures and everything. But they're turning out pretty good, so should be a lot of fun, like a Marsscape. And
yeah. Well, I know about independent films, being a promoter, so I've seen some projects that were very ambitious, and they try to do that huge budget, and they end up coming short. So, like, I always advise people when they ask for my opinion, go small, and then once you hit your goal, go for those like the next, the
Right.
next level, and then next level, because it's easier to reach your in demand when you have a smaller goal. And now, like I said, you can keep adding stuff and keep promoting new cast members, and so I think it's more exciting that way than
Yeah,
always worrying if we're going to reach that goal or not.
I've had some amazing help from some friends with the artwork and stuff. I'm this is my first Indiegogo campaign. I mean, I had to literally set this up and everything. So I luckily I've got some friends that are rooting me on and like, okay, here's what you should do. This will help you. And one of those happened to be, like you were saying, is start of a pretty attainable goal. And
Yeah.
then so that's what I did. Trying to kind of start there. I mean, really, I could do it with 5,000. Anything beyond that would just make things better. But
Yeah,
that's what we're shooting for overall, hopefully at some point. But we're rolling right now, just starting to get the campaign going. So we've got all kinds of neat perks. I'm trying to, I don't know, anybody who's involved, I want to try to reward for some way for, helping out. So we do have a lot of perks. Plus I want to give everybody shout outs and everything. I've got some building up right now. I need to take the time and probably sit down on a Friday or something and give thanks to the first section of the list, and go from there. And then start. While this is going on, I am still kind of polishing things off. I should have, but I didn't know what the hell I was doing. Yeah, I got ready to launch. I launched. Okay, it's good. And then people are like, oh, some better looking art in this, that, and the other thing started to send me some things and help me out a ton. And then
oh, sorry, I got the Indiegogo page. Whenever y'all want me to pull that up, I can pull that up. Cool. So people can actually see if you want. Yeah. Sorry, didn't mean to interrupt.
That's so. What I did too is I screwed up. Like, I don't know. Last week I went in and I was updating some stuff with the pictures, and I updated something which made every link prior to that no longer work.
Oh,
so everything is new now. Everything is up to date and rocking.
Well, here we go right now with Mr. Producer showing some of the. You want to talk about some of these?
Yeah, what are the perks?
Yeah, we got of course we're doing the Blu-ray, and then it'll be different from, I think, anything else we're releasing any other way. Your voice in the movie. I've got several different things from radio callers to military chatter and some other things. The remote acting is going to be a fun one. That one is, do you remember like Cannonball Run?
Yes.
And in the credits, they have a blooper reel. So I am planning on doing, in the credits, while the credits roll, we're going to have, I think there's 3 of those available, people who will be able to film from home, and it's their eyewitness testimony to their werewolf sighting. And then this is going to be, we're going to put fake trailers in there, potentially fake trailers in there, like the Yoga Yetis from Yakima, something like that. We've got a few fun fake trailers in there too, while the credits roll. And
was that a Grindhouse influence?
I just, it honestly, I always loved that about Cannonball Run. That was one of my favorite things at the end when they would crack up and do Dom DeLuise and
oh yeah,
Reynolds. Yeah, that was great.
That was just something I thought was really neat. Like, there was a few movies when I was growing up that, people say, oh, wait, you got to stay till the very last. And at the end of the credits, when they're over, there's some little scene.
Yeah.
I always thought neat little rewards like that were cool. So I wanted to do something similar.
I always think of when I think of staying after movies, I always think of the time I went to see Ferris Bueller, and I for some reason I wasn't in any hurry, so I was just kind of watching the credits, and then of course, like at the end, Ferris comes back. He's like, "What? You're still here?
Yeah,
go home."
Yeah, that stuff is cool.
Yeah,
I like that stuff, man. I think I just, it's interesting. Especially if you don't know about it, like you said, I was just sitting there watching the credits, waiting for everybody else to leave, and all of a sudden, boom! Oh, huh.
Now, Cyrus, didn't you have a question about the title of the movie?
Yeah, you had Nazis in there to begin with, right? Which I think is so funny. Why'd you drop it out? Was there some controversy with using that word, like Nazi?
So yeah, at first, I had some people going, well, I started getting some stories about some movie makers that had, were allowed to do this big campaign and fund. And then when it was time for them to send the payment out, the third party said, nope, I don't like something about what was in there. And then I got screenshots of people going, oh, oh my God, thank you guys for all donating, and I'm sorry it all got sent back. When you do get the money back in your bank account, can you please send it right back in through this other news site we got? And I'm just like, oh my God, I don't even want to deal with that. I want nothing to do with that. So we decided just to be on the safe side that for now, because that one I'm going to do differently. I want to make this part of a trilogy, like I said, and I'm going to do something that's going to be my next movie, and I'm going to do something even more different with it than this one. And then hopefully they'll run through enough to where I can get the third one done. All kind of in the same vein, that 50s kind of a sci-fi creature feature type deal.
Yeah.
But for now, we're starting with the battle against the Martian werewolves.
Sounds like I can't wait to see how this works out with the colors and the black and white. It's going to be interesting to see that.
Yep.
Yeah, you said that you.
The color.
Yep.
And,
go ahead.
Hopefully it looks out good.
You were saying that you've been a very busy man lately. I know you probably have a bunch of more interviews. Can you name some of these shows that you're going to be appearing on? So if anybody's watching here that want to follow you, where are you going to be next?
I honestly, I don't even know the name of John Henderson, I think, show I'm on tomorrow. I got a bunch, and I'm just like, I'm also meeting these people at the first, for the first time too. So
yeah, with
everything that's going on, I keep checking my messages. Oh my God, do I have one today? Do I have two today? Did I miss anything? Okay, no. Oh, no. If you just, just follow the campaign, and I'm going to be updating that pretty soon, figuring out exactly the best way to do that, and then try to do it more often to keep people involved as it comes along. And we get closer to shooting this thing. I'm looking for. We've already started shooting some like flashback scene stuff, and we're gonna full blown kick off the official shoot, I think, in June.
Is there anybody that you want to give a quick shout out to?
Edit forever. Yeah. What's that?
Is there anybody that you want to give a quick shout out to? There.
I couldn't hear
you. Anybody in the chat? I know you said you don't want to name names. I understand that, but is there anybody that's been helping you a lot that you want to give a shout out to?
Oh yes. Jimmy and Bobby and Anthony and Mandy have been really integral right now. Daniel Lund, he's going to be in there. He's my bartender. He's coming in. I've got a guy. I'll get all the cast out there pretty soon. But I got a guy, a really funny guy. He's a 6'2" Korean. He's driving in from Florida, and he's playing Eddie, my bar room. Kind of he's not the bully, but he's the guy that has, every pool table trophy, every dart trophy, that's Eddie's names on all of it, So he comes up the bar, and Daniel's going to be the bartender, and so I've got several other people. I've got actually on Friday. What's this today? Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So 2 days from now, I'm sending out lines to all of my actors to make sure I'm going to finally be like, you are it, and you are it. And then I've got a couple more roles to fill. Feasibly, one of them's a big role. So it'll be a local person because it's going to take, it's not for someone to fly. So
if anybody's watching who's interested in knowing more about the project, can you tell people where to find you?
Yeah, Troy Oelke on Facebook there, and you can
1, 2, 3, or 4.
Just I think so far.
Yeah.
And you just Earth versus Werewolves from Mars. If you look that up, I think it's going to be a lot of fun. So there's a lot of ways for people to get involved and be a part of the movie. Whether your voice is heard or your face is on a missing poster. There's all kinds of stuff, and it'd be fun just to get a gift for someone. Be like, hey, look at that. We're gonna go watch this movie. What is this? What is it? Is that me on a missing poster? It's like, yeah, I wish you were. I mean, yes. It's because I love it.
I'm looking forward to it. Maybe when the project's done, you can come back and we can talk a little bit about the movie.
Awesome. Sounds amazing.
And I'll stop spreading the word myself, because I know you asked me to help with some promotion, and so I'm a little rusty at it because I haven't done promoting in a while. But
don't worry about it.
But for you, my friend, I'll jump the rivers for you, my friend.
All right, if we want to share that, I appreciate it.
Mr. Poe, you want to come in and do some promoting for other shows?
Can we show the teaser trailer real quick?
Yeah, go ahead.
I got that. Hold on.
Oh, who's that I see walking in these woods? Why, it's Little Red Riding Hood. Hey there, Little Red Riding Hood. You sure are looking good. You're everything a big bad wolf could want. Listen to me, Little Red Riding Hood. I don't think little big girls should go walking in these spooky old woods alone. Ow!
I love that James Bond ending.
That was great. So I know we have Back with Tara's coming next Monday, I believe. What were they talking about again?
It's another Bigfoot episode. They want to cover, I guess, another Bigfoot movie and the the legend behind him and all that stuff. So that's another Bigfoot episode coming to you, because the last one they did on Rumble
was the Jason one with the Bigfoot, right?
Yeah. So they're going to do that, and I know next Wednesday, I don't know if it's going to be live, but Paul's got an episode. He's got someone he's going to be talking to on Sad Nation to Die For, and I guess whatever else comes out, I guess. I don't know. We did a pre-recording of the very first Doug Nut Social Club.
Yep.
Will be out. I'm going to release it on Friday. So everybody, please take a look at that. We're having drinks. We're having a good time just talking bullshit. You know, if you want to see a bunch of idiots on the screen, you know, go ahead and watch that.
Yeah, I'm there.
But other than that, I think that's and Jack Transmission. Hopefully, we'll be doing another one fairly soon. And of course, Cyrus, with your show, the Gonzo Chronicles, which you're going to have a video part of it now. So you let me know whenever that's going to happen. And I definitely want to talk conspiracies with you because I love the shit out of that stuff.
Yeah, let's start working on that next week. You want to get together next week and talk about it? Okay.
Yeah, we can do that. So
the next podcast, I'm going to do top 10 werewolf movies of all time. Troy, how about that?
Awesome.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah. Wolfman's got nards.
But I do want to say something too, and and I thought of this. You know, whenever Troy sent me a message, he's like, "Hey, share this." You know, and you know, Troy, you've always helped people out, and you've always been behind projects and everything, and now it's your turn. And I think that a lot of people will get behind this, especially the concept. I love that area of movies too. Not a lot of people appreciate that. Like you mentioned the old black and whites. I love that stuff. You know, invasion of the movement or whatever. You know, all those. I like that, and I like how you're incorporating all that stuff. You have a cool story. I think people will get behind it. I think you deserve it, and I think you'll do a fantastic job. You got that mindset, dude, and I can't wait to see it. So
I appreciate it very much.
Yeah. And finally, for this show, our next show will be in 2 weeks. We'll be talking about the classic, The Outsiders. So stay tuned for that one.
Are you going to be Pony Bow? Are you Rob or what?
Yeah. I'm gonna put. I think I'm gonna be Gary.
Big old.
Because I want to do it for Johnny, man. I want to do it for Johnny. All right, so guys, if anyone else have anything else before we call this a day?
No, it's been good, man. Thanks, Troy.
Hey, thanks,
man.
guys.
All
Have
right,
yourself an amazing evening. Appreciate it.
Mr. Producer, you can take us home.
Steady.
Right on.
Amazing.